I'm in this beautiful place right now. It's almost like a park. Won't say much about where it is, but you can see the hills off in the distance there through the trees, I think. Well, it's kind of hard to tell. Deciduous trees, these are oaks, and of course there are plenty of pines around as well. And I thought I'd take the time to talk about a couple things that seem pretty important. Of course, it's information that's in the news right now, but I kind of wanted to explain it in a little different light. Wow, look at this tree here. Really beautiful. Well, I wanted to show you this beautiful place. As I said, I travel around quite a bit, and I'm in a place now that's exceptional. And I'll show you a little bit more, some wonderful things that are here in another video. But this one here right now, I just wanted to say real quick that, and the purpose of this video is to show you that as the people recognize, as the people wake up and demand their liberties, that the government protect their God-given liberties, their God-given rights, which is the contract of the Constitution. That's what the government is supposed to do, to protect our rights and liberties, not infringe upon them. And as the people stand up and demand that the government fulfill that end of its contract, the feudal lords, the oligarchs that run the government from behind the scenes and put people like Obama in place, and all the presidents, Bush too, I'm not just talking about Obama, all of these politicians and bureaucrats. As we stand up, they're going to come at us with other weapons to put us down. Ebola, wars in Syria to kill off your sons and your daughters, and you know how I feel about women being in the military. It's a bad idea. Just because you can do something, and not all of them can, doesn't mean you should do something. And to protect the female of our species is extremely important, despite whether they think so or not. But that's another issue for another time. You know how I feel about that. But at any rate, the wars, the fact that they're attacking us economically, the entire fall of our monetary system, and how the crash of 2008 happened, and how something similar is about ready to happen again. All of these things are happening because the people want to stand up. We had the Occupy movement. We had the situation of Bundy Ranch, where we said, no, BLM and federal government, you're not going here. You're not going to cause another Waco. You will not go any further. Just like Gandalf in Lord of the Rings, you shall not pass. At some point in time, we just got to say no. So the people that are aware are starting to do that. The Tea Party, for instance, it hasn't gone as far as I would like it to, but at least it's there, and it's doing a good job for the most part, as long as it doesn't allow itself to be co-opted as they tried to do before, as the oligarchs and the bureaucrats tried to do before. At any rate, so we're going to be attacked by diseases like Ebola. We're going to be facing wars. We're going to be facing disasters here at home, whether natural or man-made. Most man-made, I'm afraid. Certainly the situation that puts us at danger, false flags, those types of things. The fact that the government, we had General Adjerno here who has come out with this new plan that we're not concerned about liberty anymore. We're concerned about U.S. control of resources and land masses and monetary systems and those types of things. It's all evil empire building. But as the people recognize that and wake up, they're going to be attacking us with these different things. So the most recent, and that's really why I wanted to bring this up, is the movie Unfair. Former Governor Huckabee is in this. It's about an hour-and-a-half movie. It has a documentary showing the abuses of the IRS and the Federal Reserve System, and how the federal government uses that to control dissent, to control political opposition, and to injure us, the people, rather than protect us. So you need to see that. Please go see it. It's at the movie theaters right now. Again, it's called Unfair. And I think that even if you know about the IRS and its abuses and about how the Federal Reserve came into being, this movie would be important for you to see, if for no other reason than to encourage you to take those friends and relatives of yours that aren't aware of this, or only have partial information about how evil this IRS organization is. And really a lot of federal bureaucracies. We saw it with the BLM. You see it with the FBI and the Boston bombing, the CIA with drug running, with the DEA. I mean, there's so many. How these federal agencies are now fronts for criminal activity, or I shouldn't say fronts, but protections for criminal activity. So as the people stand up and object, the government will attack them, as I've said here, with diseases and with false flags, with attacks by the IRS, with attacks, by other government agencies against those who want to speak out. And with these wars, whether at home or abroad, to remove our sons and daughters from us. And you know how I feel about daughters being in the military, women. We can't allow that to happen. I know a lot of women out there say, oh no, we have the same rights, but you don't understand where this is going. Read George Orwell's 1984, as I've mentioned before, and you'll understand how they're trying to separate the difference between the sexes. That's an oxymoron, I guess, separate the differences. What I mean is they're trying to close that gap between the sexes, and that's not a good thing, folks. I'm sorry. It's not a good thing. It's wrong. And we're falling into this trap because we want to be politically correct. We don't want to be accused of being sexist. We're willing to destroy the human species to be politically correct by somebody else's standards that are our enemy. Well, we've lost our way. So anyway, please go see the movie Unfair. Understand that as movies like Unfair and Dinesh D'Souza's America come out, and as more people stand up, like Rand Paul, Huckabee, Savage, whomever, the government and the oligarchs and the feudal lords, as they see themselves, are going to attack us on different fronts. And so we're going to see more of this. They've purposely allowed Ebola to spread. It is weaponized. It is something different to some extent than what we saw back 20 years ago or so at that minor outbreak. The open borders are obviously designed to allow us to be susceptible to attack by diseases, by undesirables, under the guise of helping children. The tyrants always pretend to love the children, and that's the reason why they do what they do, and it's all, frankly, horse shit. Okay? So you wouldn't let a stranger in your house you didn't know, and we shouldn't do that as a nation either. Okay? So it just doesn't make any sense on that scale. The wars in Syria, we stopped the war in Syria a year ago because we said it wasn't right. So they invented this Khorasan group of ISIS, which of course all those are military-industrial complex puppets, whether they know it or not. And fighting a war. I mean, can you imagine ISIS being able to stand against our air attacks? Do you really believe this stuff? No, this is by design, folks. Please go see the movie Unfair. Take a friend, take your family, even if you already understand IRS abuses and the criminal conduct that they engage in. Put on your armor. Stand up. Don't be silent. Pray that the Spirit of God rests upon you and gives you courage and gives you words to speak, and stand boldly against these demons. A lot of humanity doesn't deserve to be saved. I'm sorry, it doesn't. I've been in a place now for the last 3 weeks before I got here. I saw the sea of humanity, and I was sickened by it, to see what they've allowed themselves to become. And leaders should lead people to morality and to spiritual heights, and instead they push us down to the lows, and then in their minds justify our destruction because we We are susceptible to these temptations, these disgusting low-grade lives that we choose, and we don't even know we're doing it. And I'm speaking in somewhat of a code here, but when the elites give you a chance to be the lowest you can be, and you take it because they're doing that, then they're justified in their minds in destroying you. You have to lift up your moral and spiritual sights. You just have to. Please go see the movie on